What's up guys, Big Time Bentley here. We're here in Nhat Airport in the international terminal. You can tell it's really empty. Not very many people traveling right now. So this journey will be a flight from Nhat in Ho Chi Minh City to Singapore, and then Singapore to LA. And that flight, Singapore to LA, is actually a 16-hour flight, which is the 5th longest flight in the world. But I wanted to give you guys an idea of what the airports look like and what the crowds are looking like at this point. As you can tell, it's really empty. Just not very many people. Nhat has a smoking lounge, which is good. If you're a smoker, you can get a little pre-flight cigarette in or whatever. But the air conditioning's off, so it's really hot in there. And then we take a walk through the rest of the terminal. On the way to the gate, you can see some of the employees. Well, you can at least see one employee here has like a hazmat suit on. So we're just going right down to the gate here. Not very many people at this gate or in the airport in general. Some water there, so when you do go to the airport, make sure you bring like an empty bottle of water so that you can fill those up. A little bit of history of Nhat Airport. It was built by the French colonial government in the 1930s. And then expanded during the 1950s. I was flying on Singapore Air here.
Hi. To seat?
Yes.
Thank you. This way, please.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hey. Thank you. All right. Cool. Thank you so much. So really personal customer service there. He greeted me by name. And you can tell here the plane is really empty. There were maybe 4 or 5 people on it. So I show you a little bit of the taxiing experience here. And honestly, this was a little bit emotional for me, because this had been a place that had been my home for a long time, so it was a little bit sad. But, you know, it's the start of a new adventure, so that's the positive note to leave on.
Come to takeoff stations, please. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts and draw up your window shades. Thank you.
Those red and yellow planes are Vietjet Air, which is one of the major domestic airlines in Vietnam. This was economy class for this flight on the Singapore Air. Decent setup, good TVs. There weren't any people on the plane, so I had plenty of room. In the background there you can see the Landmark 81, which is the tallest building in Vietnam. I showed you that in one of my previous videos. And then some of downtown Saigon. So now we've landed at Changi Airport in Singapore. You can see the employees are in the hazmat suits still, and we are being guided by one of the employees to a holding area where they're going to keep us for our layover. A little bit of history of Changi Airport. It was built in 1981, and then it was renovated in 2019. So it's quite modern, very developed, a lot of high-end stores that you'll see later. The staff for Singapore Air were really good, so I do recommend their airlines. It was just a really long flight from Singapore to LA, so I'm not sure if I would ever do that flight again. On the left here you see some people in their hazmats conducting some tests. And then we take these sky trains in Singapore Airport to help us get from one area of the airport to the other. You can see she's directing me to a particular spot in line. I've never been to Singapore. I've heard great things, and I would like to go. I don't really count being in the airport as having visited somewhere, so I would like to go be able to travel outside the airport. Decent train system. I like trains. One of my preferred methods of traveling. There's a really nice train from Hue to Da Nang that I took. Goes through the Hai Van Pass. Really beautiful for anyone who's interested in seeing some Vietnamese countryside. I usually narrate all my videos while I'm filming, but with regards to this video, I only narrated some portions while I was filming, so I decided to do a voiceover. It's my first time trying it, so forgive me if the audio quality is not terrific.
Welcome to Terminal 3.
So they're taking us into some sort of holding area in between the flights from Vietnam to Singapore. We're staying here, then Singapore to LA. So we'll see what the holding area is like. Alright guys, so we made it to the holding area, so let's check it out. Pretty standard, I guess. Looks like they got a pretty big area sectioned off for people who are in transit. This holding area had a vending machine with some food and drinks, but the staff were also available to get a wider selection of food and drinks for you. Yo, this is pretty wild. I wouldn't normally film a bathroom, but I legit thought there were little flies on every urinal. I was like, damn, that's disgusting. But I guess that's some sort of brand they got here. I guess it gives you something to aim at. So at this point, I'm about to board the flight to LA, and we are being escorted from the holding area to the gate where the flight to LA will leave. This was about a 15-minute walk. We weren't able to take any sort of train for this, so a little bit of a walk. Some security over there. Some of the higher end stores that I was telling you about. Over here it looks like another one of those screening facilities with the guys in the hazmats. And just another shout out to the Singapore Air staff and the staff at the Singapore airport. Everyone was behaving very professionally, so that was really good. This was the gate where I waited for the flight to LA. Decent sunset. And then we're boarding onto the flight now. It's a huge plane. I think a brand new plane, like an A350. I wanted to make a left there into business class, but I went into here. I'm actually sitting premium economy on this flight. I just chose that for a little bit more leg room and a little bit bigger seat. So at this point we're walking through business class, and then this is the premium economy section. Behind that, about 5 rows, is regular economy. So at this point you're sitting in your seat and you're just hoping that no one else comes to sit right next to you. Fortunately this flight was pretty empty. Yeah, all of those seats next to me were empty, and I had plenty of room, so that was really good. Alright guys, got the 16-hour flight, so first time I've ever done a flight that long, but let's see how it goes. Pretty comfortable here in the premium economy, and looks like the plane is not going to be full, so all good. So the difference between premium economy and regular economy is that premium economy has a little bit more leg room and the seats are a little wider. I had a little bit of extra leg room on top of that because I had that first row. And they also give you noise cancelling headphones, so that's something you don't get in regular economy. The flight was pretty decent overall. It was a long flight, 16 hours, but not too bad. My only criticism was that there was only 2 meal services. So there was one meal about an hour into the flight, and then there was another meal about 2 hours before landing. So I think a flight that long, maybe they should have had one more meal service. And let's be real guys, I'm 6'2", 260, so you know I'm hungry. Coming in on the end of the flight, 16 hours. I feel like crap. I look like 10 years older than I usually do. I haven't slept in like 48 hours, so it's good to be back home, but yeah, long flight. People keep asking me what the first thing I'm going to do is when I get back. So the very first thing I think is get a haircut. And then because we weren't able to do that in Vietnam towards the end. And then I guess get some food. Some good LA food. Maybe some In-N-Out. Maybe some good Mexican. You guys comment down below and let me know what your favorite food in LA is, or what you would eat after 4 years in Vietnam. Our boy we came through some heavy fog coming to that landing and he stuck it, so shout out to that pilot. And we finally made it into LAX. So thanks for hanging out with me guys and watching my trip back. and I'm excited to show you some places in LA. Comment down below with any suggestions that you have or places that you really want to see, and I'll try to hit them up. Alright guys, peace.